welcome back to Ozark Garden Talk with White River Nursery. I'm Sarah.
I'm Charity.
And I'm Alex.
And today this is one of my favorite episodes. We're talking about the things that we are genuinely excited to bring in this year. Charity gets the opportunity to hunt most of these things down, and we kind of went through and picked out the ones that are either new or we haven't seen in a long time, that we are just excited to see and kind of talk about, because I know everybody's excited planning out what they're going to plant. So do you guys have a couple that you're excited about?
Sure. One thing that we're getting in a little bit later in spring than the first part of our deliveries is coming from a native plant grower that we get from every year. But I have had this tree on my hunt list for, I have heard about it before I did this job. So, requests by a couple of people. It's slippery elm. It is a tree. It is a native tree to our area. It's not often found, though. Part of that is to do with the elm disease that has moved through all the elm trees. But it's Ulma rubra. And the slippery elm was requested by a few different customers over the years for its medicinal qualities. So these were particular customers that have always tried to plant kind of that food forest thing or medicinal plants in their spaces. And slippery elm is known for providing anti-inflammatory properties, and it's in the bark. Evidently, since I've never seen one that I know of, inside the bark is red and it's slimy. That's the slippery part. And it has qualities that if you chew a small twig and kind of release that, or Native Americans would use some of the bark also. And it is in it's in the...
Isn't that throat soothing tea
native,
and stuff like that?
Natural... Ozark Natural Foods, I think, has some either powder
in the
or
supplements.
something.
Yeah, you can get them in little capsules.
Yeah.
I think.
So we're excited to bring that in because, when you look for a plant and just have it kind of on your mental list for about 5 or 6 years, and it shows up somewhere being grown, it's exciting to get a hold of it. It is a big tree, so as far as planting it in your space, you want tree size.
That's a commitment.
It is not picky about soils, so it can go pretty wet and it can go dry.
Okay.
It will be about 40 to 50 foot tall, though. So again, you want to plan for that. But yeah, pretty cool. You could get that started. There are still issues with the elm. Is it Dutch elms disease? Yeah. And a couple other things that attack elms, but
that's exciting.
You still see a lot of them doing really well
Yeah.
around here, though.
Yeah.
Elm trees are pretty tough and
They are.
fast growing.
Yeah.
So that's cool, though. For some reason in my mind, I imagined it being a little smaller, but it's like a full-sized elm.
yeah.
And probably fast growing.
And it's listed as not being particularly ornamental. They said it's rough bark. It's not there's not necessarily anything pretty about it, but
it's useful.
Yeah.
It's native.
Right.
It's hard to find.
and it grows easily.
Right.
So
Very cool.
I like all that.
Yeah. Well, one of the ones I had on my list that we were able to get in this year is Peve Minaret Dwarf Bald Cypress.
Oh.
So it only gets 8 to 12 foot tall, 4 foot wide, 4 to 8 maybe. It is so cute. It looks like a little bonsai dwarf or bald cypress. So super cute.
And who doesn't love a bald cypress? That's definitely in my top 3 native trees. They're beautiful.
They're gorgeous, but
they're also huge.
I was gonna say who has room for that?
Right.
Unless you have a really big space. So this it tolerates moisture, so if you had a low spot, it's perfect. It's just a real statement piece in a bed. So, and you could fit it in just about any yard could fit it in. So I'm really excited to see that. Just, that soft feathery texture.
it's just the regular green of the bald cypress, and then of course it would get the rusty color for fall before
Right.
it drops the not needles. leaves, fronds. No, they're not fronds. That's a fern.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. What? Yeah. So
They are the
so it won't
leaves,
have.
but-
Yeah. It won't
yeah.
have. It just has the structure of the branches during the winter, but that more manageable size. So I don't think that there's anything different about it versus the traditional bald cypress. It's just the size.
Well, they tend to have a great
Interesting.
shape anyway. I mean, they're
Yes.
very symmetrical, very strong central leader.
I will say this one did look. It looked very.
Wabi sabi.
Yeah, a little bit. I want to say clumpy, but just a little bit more pillowy, kind of in the branching and very full. I don't know. They were very. It's very fluffy.
Yeah.
So very cute. I'm excited to see them in person.
Yeah, that same grower, I'm really excited about bringing this order in too. I mean, they have a lot of things that are just really lend themselves to being specimen pieces.
Very much so.
know, and like that bald cypress you're talking about. There's one, and I've seen these before, but I don't think we've ever carried them. It's called an indigo eyes Bosnian pine. And I love the smaller pine trees. They give you that good kind of Japanese garden look and everything. This one, when it first puts on the pine cones, they're like neon blue.
That's,
I mean,
Cool.
blue. And then over time they do kind of fade to a darker color, but they're stunning. It looks like ornaments on
What's
the tree.
its mature size?
They stay small. A lot of the stuff we're getting from those guys, again, kind of lends itself to being a centerpiece in a bed or something like that, and is very manageable for the average homeowner. These guys only get 6 to 10 foot tall and probably about as wide, but they can have kind of an irregular growth habit, so the width on some of that stuff is kind of, depends a little bit on how you prune it.
That's cool.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I think did that one put out pine cones as well? I want to say it had pine
no, that's
cones.
what I'm saying.
Oh, that's the
That's
blue,
what's blue.
cone. Okay, awesome.
And guys, like, I don't want to overstate this, but I'm saying blue.
Okay.
Blue, like super blue, a natural blue, but very, very cool.
Wonder how mature it needs to be to start producing.
They put pine cones on when they're very young, actually.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
they
even
developed them for that.
yes,
Perfect.
even when they're quite small, they still put on some cones,
Nice.
and then you get those. Like the winter candles, when they start putting on the new growth, and
Yeah.
so you get that contrast. Again, I have a super soft spot for those small ornamental pines.
Well, pines are awesome. So,
Agreed.
Yeah.
yeah.
What else you got?
Well, I can move into a shrub. I don't have any more trees specifically on my list. I know you guys have some more trees than I do, but one of our new varieties coming from Proven Winners plants is Red Zeppelin sweet shrub, which is a calycanthus, and Calycanthus floridus, which is our native. So we've carried in the past, which is also a Proven Winners plant, Aphrodite, which is a cross between our native Florida species and an Asian one. I can't remember the
I didn't
species
know that.
of that. It is. So they have removed that from listing it as a native plant because it is a hybrid. I have Aphrodite planted. I love the shrub. It is maintenance free. I mean, I water it sometimes. Mine has grown over the last 4 to 5 years to pretty much 8 foot tall and almost 8 foot wide. I could prune it to change that a little bit. Aphrodite has big blooms, big red, that maroon red. And our native sweet shrub has smaller blooms, still the same flower form, same color. The Red Zeppelin is a new variety created that has a dark leaf. So it's going to come out maroon. I mean, one of the pictures looks fairly black. I mean, it's really dark. So what I saw was it was a variation. I think the botanical name had varietal purpurea or something like that, making me think that it was, I haven't looked into the lineage, but that it was a purple leafed occurrence. So it's not a hybrid.
A selection as
Yes,
opposed to a hybrid.
Exactly. So, and there's a lot of debate on purple-leafed plants, and I think it's true that our dark-leaf plants that would naturally, native plants that would naturally be mostly green, are not seen by insects to feed upon once the leaves turn to that dark color.
Yeah,
Right.
we know that about the 9 bark.
Right.
You know.
Yes. But we also look at things too in our yards. And the flower form is the same. The red Zeppelin is, it says that the flower is a bit orangish instead of the maroon red.
So it might stand out.
rusty orange against the black foliage, which is glossy. And it's big leaves. So it's a nice like accent shrub that you can put in the middle of all the green.
Yes.
Right, to draw out something else. So you put something lighter green or just regular green in front of it, or even a smaller leaf shape in your, in your bed.
Just to add that
And
texture
it'll give it a
everything.
backdrop to give everything else, a chance to shine. I mean, we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So, but the pictures do look like the flowers are the same size as the native, same shape. But they do look a little rusty. So that should be a really interesting contrast. My Aphrodite blooms so much and is quite bold with its bigger shaped blooms. If this shrub has that rust hitting the burgundy maroon leaves, that would be a showstopper in the garden. It does say that, it's 4 to 8 feet, so somewhere in there. It does say that, of course, like a lot of those dark leaf plants, if you put it into too much shade, it will lose some of that
Right.
depth.
That
Right.
color. Yeah.
But it can do part shade fine. Mine actually does. So red Zeppelin, sweet shrub, looks like an exciting addition for that ornamental quality.
Yeah,
Very
that should
cool.
be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the ones talking about foliage that I'm excited to see is chartreuse on the loose catmint or nepeta.
I love these names.
The names crack me
They're
up.
pretty crazy.
But yeah, just it's a catmint, so it has the same size as any of the traditional catmints that we've seen, but instead of that kind of grayish, silvery blue color foliage, this will have a very bright chartreuse foliage, same purple
Purple blue flower.
blooms. Yep, but that bright chartreusey foliage, which I think will be really cool. I do like a bright pop, that contrast. Chartreuse is really a fun color to see. You wouldn't think it would be as bold, but it can be very bold in the versus just the standard green colors.
Yes.
So, but should still be a strong pollinator according to the growers. And full sun for best color, but I'm excited to see this one. It should be something that blooms pretty much all summer, just like the
Right.
other catmints, and you can shear it to kind of flush out a stronger bloom later in the season. But
And I mean, catmint is a rock star in perennials. It's super heat and drought tolerant, long bloom time. Deer won't touch it. Pollinators seem to love it.
Yes.
I mean,
Constantly,
yeah,
and just the deer resistance and the drought tolerance.
you can't.
That's kinda huge
Yeah,
here,
you can't
so-
hardly beat it.
And it's well behaved. I mean,
Right.
it's not going to reseed. It's not
Right.
going to sucker. It doesn't really move from the spot you put it. I've never seen it. I've never had anybody tell me that theirs
Right.
has moved on. And it is a full 3 seasons of a flower with nectar for our pollinators, and they're on it all the time. Anytime I try to cut back my catmint, and I have one of the older varieties, that's just a green leaf or the blue green leaf, and I mean, every time I go out there, it's got blooms on it still.
And there's
The
And there's
pollinators.
bees.
butterflies on it.
Yep.
And then I'm like, okay, maybe next time. And then I come back. And I mean, it doesn't stop until like frost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
and
just great.
you mentioned it doesn't spread by seed or, rhizome or anything, but it does fill in nicely.
Oh, yeah.
You get a lot of bang for your buck with catmint. Definitely one of the most popular perennials we sell.
Yes. And out of a non-native plant, it will be the first thing I would take somebody to that says they need to fill in a low space. They want flowers all the time, and they love butterflies. I mean, it's easy to just fill in holes with it. And your chartreuse on the loose would go great in front of Red Zeppelin.
Oh,
There
wouldn't
you
that
go.
be gorgeous?
You need a mid layer because
Yeah.
Red Zeppelin's pretty big, but
Yeah,
that
yes.
contrast would catch attention for sure.
For sure. Yeah, I'm really interested to see if it's all the hype. It has won some awards,
Yeah.
being, plants of the year of different types or perennials of the year. And so I'm excited to see if it lives up to the hype. So,
What do you have, Alex?
yeah.
So we are bringing in a new type of dawn redwood this
Yes,
year.
I saw this one.
And okay, Alex, nerdy rant. For those of you who don't know, dawn redwoods were thought to be extinct for a long time, and they were actually discovered in a valley in China somewhere, and somebody brought some back.
did not
And
know
so,
this.
yeah, they had been observed in the fossil record, but they were just assumed to have been extinct for thousands and thousands of years, and then they just found this whole forest of them.
That's
And
awesome.
now we have them here. There's actually, I believe the largest one in the state of Arkansas is right by the castle in
Oh, is
Wilson
that?
Park?
in Wilson Park.
Yeah, it does have a.
It's got
It
its
does have
champion
that.
tree
Yep, you're right.
plaque over there, and the regular ones look a lot like a bald cypress. They have a similar growth habit in that they lose all their foliage in the winter, even though they kind of look like an evergreen. They're not, but they do produce cones. But this one is a dwarf weeping variety.
Cool.
And apparently it weeps to the point where if you don't do anything to it, I mean, it can stay quite short and just kind of spread out and do interesting things. So I don't know.
What's the name of the cultivar?
It's called Miss Grace.
Miss Grace. Okay, yeah.
And I'm very interested to see what these come in looking like.
Yeah.
My guess is they will be staked for initial planting.
Sure.
But anyhow, if you allow them to do their thing and go upright, or help them do their thing and go upright, they max out at 8 foot tall. They only get about 3 feet wide. But again, if you leave it alone, it's probably going to be more like 3 feet tall, 8 feet wide.
Yeah, it's
Just
like a
kinda-
ground cover. A
I mean,
bald cypress
Yeah,
ground cover.
exactly.
So-
And I love bald cypress, or I mean, dawn redwood.
I'm sorry, I just did that. I'm sorry.
yes.
Bald cypress and Dawn redwood
They kind
do
of-
that to me.
Yes.
They're so similar. I mean, but the dawn redwoods don't put up knees. If you plant a bald cypress in wet soil, you tend to have those knees come up in the surrounding area, which can be problematic for mowing and things like that. Not as big of a deal in a flower bed, but so anyway, I'm very excited
Yeah,
to
that
see.
sounds really cool.
I think so. It's got the same color,
Okay.
it's a weeping form and a small one. And I love that we're getting, again, these specimen trees that are more accessible to everybody.
Right.
At my house, I can't plant a dawn redwood in my front yard.
No.
That would be a bit much. So, but this one I can.
Super unique.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's neat. Well, I have some perennials. I know y'all aren't surprised by that,
Not at all.
but we have a few perennials coming in that are new to us this year. Well, more than a few probably, but I picked out verbascum, which is mullein.
Yes.
But there are quite a few cultivars of verbascum that they've developed for the flower color.
Yep.
And we're getting a couple in. One is Dark Eyes, which is awesome. It is a creamy yellow flower, and then the center is maroon. So it has a lot of contrast. And just like mullein, it's going to do its basal leaf rosette kind of growth. Dark Eyes does have the gray, furry leaves, kind of like mullein, not quite as furry as our, roadside mullein. And that spire of blooms that comes up and comes off that central stem. But the Dark Eyes is only 8 inches tall.
I was about
Well, okay.
So it's a tuck in or pull to the very front of the bed. Verbascums are a little confusing because they are, or they can be biennial, and I didn't get clarification exactly. But most of these named varieties, they have worked on to be longer blooming and perennial over more years than a biennial would be.
Did I read that they do reseed, or they
Yes.
they will
They do.
reseed?
Yes.
So yeah.
And I think you could also collect the seeds and plant them where you wanted to with these varietals. So the dark eyes is the shorty, but the contrast is going to be like you'll see it. I feel like
yeah.
it is a small plant and could be understated, if you wanted to like sneak it in. But I think it'll be really fun to have in a container too. You can do it in a container. The other variety we're getting is Plum Smoky, and it is a smoky purple. It's a bit taller, like double the size, so it's at 16 inches. Still has the great leaf. It wasn't described as quite as gray, so maybe more of a green
So
basil leaf.
the flower is that purple,
Yes.
but it's got the kind of gray blue
Yes,
foliage. Okay.
And they are considered, long-lived, possibly because of reseeding versus, this mother plant. But pollinators visit the flowers, and they do not care about soil. As a matter of fact, some of the varieties I was reading about were improved to tolerate better soil.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, because just like we see mullein growing beside the road.
Yeah.
I was about to
Gravel.
say
The
roughest spots.
that's where you usually see it,
Yeah.
is in the worst spot,
Yes.
and
So you
it's
do want to
tough.
provide good drainage, and you can literally put it in the yuckiest soil you have, and it should be fine as
Love
long
it.
as it doesn't stay wet in the winter.
Right.
That will kill it out.
Yeah.
So that one's fun. Those will come in a bit later in the spring too, but I'm excited to have them, and I think we'll get to see them bloom because that's another improvement that they've done is bloom sooner.
That's
So
awesome.
mullein itself, the roadside, takes a year just to grow all those basil leaves,
Yep.
and then it shoots a flower spike. So.
And to be clear, when you're saying later, I mean, we are going to start getting stuff
Yeah.
in early February, and then we're getting, a lot of stuff in March. We're not talking May or June.
No.
but
March, April,
Yeah.
that kind of timeline. Still spring.
Still
Yeah.
plenty, still a good coming up on good time to plant for
Yes,
spring, really,
yes,
when
definitely.
the soil's
And
warming up. And
especially for that, because that doesn't bloom until the summer. So it does need heat to be growing actively. So that'll be a fun
Exciting.
one.
That is a fun one. I love those blooms. I saw that plum. Was it
Plum
Plum Smoky. Oh, it was really
Yeah.
a pretty bloom.
Great name.
Yeah. One of the kind of series that I'm excited about getting in is some Korean Japanese maple hybrids. It's Acer, and I'm not even going to try
Yeah,
to
no.
pronounce
Oh,
this.
come on.
It's pseudo Boldinium. I'm not.
Sounds
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's about 25 characters long. So, but they're a hybrid between the Korean maples and the Japanese maples. They're supposed to be a lot more reliably cold tolerant. They are a zone 4 versus the Japanese maples are typically a zone 5. And they're supposed to be even more tolerant of our temperature swings, just a lot tougher
nice.
of a plant, and can tolerate even our heat. So they're just a tough plant. They'll still want protection from the afternoon sun here, but it's a way to get that Japanese style plant. We have 4 varieties coming in, 3 of which are pretty upright, more typical of like a blood good style Japanese maple, and then we have one that's more compact, a little bit more irregular weeping style.
Yeah,
So that's
cool.
a wabi sabi, another fun name.
That's the actual name.
That's
not
the
just-
actual,
not just
yeah.
look.
That's
That's the name of the variety.
That's the name of the variety. Yep.
Are they purple leafed also? We have some
There
of them.
are. I
Dark
was
leaf.
gonna say I think that most of these are I need to look. Actually, I forgot to look and see if these specific varieties are purple. I know that they have real showy fall
Sure.
color.
Yeah, they'll be gorgeous in the fall.
Yeah.
I feel like at least one of them
One of them might have had a darker leaf.
Well, I feel like it might have that characteristic where the new growth comes out with some
Yes.
red, and then it kind of fades to a more green in the heat of the summer, and then you get that fall color. So
Yeah. But these are, Japanese maples in general, it's not an inexpensive plant.
Right.
So having something that's just a lot more reliably
yeah,
dependable and isn't going to have as much risk of the dieback. It's just so we have some irregular seasons here, and it's I'm excited to see how these tolerate those swings.
yeah, and I wasn't even familiar with those, so
This is new to me too. Just our a new grower has been working on these cultivars, so I'm not sure how long they've been in the market, but relatively recently.
that's
So,
super cool.
yep, I'm excited about that one.
All right. Well, going back to my love of Japanese gardens and whatnot, we're bringing in a plant. I believe we have carried it some in the past, but they're not the easiest thing to find, and they're beautiful. It's called a thunderhead Japanese black pine, and it is another dwarf type pine that, even if you don't do much pruning or anything to them, I mean, they just look like a big bonsai tree.
Mm-hmm.
They're so cool. They have so much character, and this particular one has very dark needles, and
That's
so you
fun.
get that darker, denser look. I feel like the bark on them looks very good also,
Yeah.
and the way the trunks kind of undulate. And I mean, these are the same trees that you see in Japanese gardens, like up in Missouri Botanical Gardens or some of that. Just super cool, and again, super manageable for the average home. These guys, 6 to 10 foot tall and wide, relatively slow growing. We were talking about those winter candles on pines earlier, and they tend to be maybe 6 to 8 inches or something. So that's about the growth level you're going to get per year. They seem to be very hardy here. They seem to tolerate the heat, the cold, average moisture needs. I'm strongly fighting the urge, guys. I want to just buy like a huge shallow planter and put it on a pedestal in my
that'll
backyard
be
and
cool.
stick one of these in there and
Yeah.
set a chair in front of it so I can just look at
Fair.
it. But again, we're bringing in some really cool specimens,
We are,
and I'm stoked to see them.
yeah. Have to have a little Japanese garden, a
I'm a-
faux pot Japanese garden set up at the
Don't-
nursery.
Don't be surprised when you come in and that has happened.
Yeah.
Got a
For
display set
sure.
up.
Well, I have one other. I actually have a list of honorable mentions.
I
Should
think, I kind of went through
should I do-
mine, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we are going to get more of the ironweed in, which one of our podcasts, midsummer-ish, I know that I went on like a long monologue about ironweed. I can't remember what month it was, but ironweed is pretty cool, and everybody should have some. This is iron butterfly, and it is the small one, so literally everyone can have some. We're going to have a lot more of that in this year to offer, and I'm hoping that will help get it out in the world more.
Yeah.
It's it's less than 24 inches or about 24 inches and deep purple in the late fall or late summer into fall. So providing for our pollinators. So that's a nice native coming in. We also currently have this actually is Poppy Mallow.
This wine
Color-
cups.
Celery ho. It's Latin. I cannot.
Guys, you just have to say it confidently.
Okay.
Latin is a dead language. Nobody knows how to say it. So just make it up.
Well, anyway, Poppy Mallow. There's a wine. Poppy Mallow wine cups. It's sometimes all 4 words in there. This is a native plant. Also, we we usually carry it some every year. Again, we're going to have some more. We have some in. It's growing really well, so I'm excited that we're doing a good job for it. I mean, it's something that happens here. Sometimes we can't grow things well. This has the really pretty bright pink flowers. It is a native. It's a wonderful ground cover plant, so it'll spread across the ground without being like, it's not rooting where it spreads.
Right.
So...
But it is pretty vigorous. It takes up some space.
Which is awesome.
Did you see that one on the Washington County Master Gardener Garden Tour year before last, maybe? They had planted one plant in the corner of their yard in a bed, and it was taking up a large area.
Yeah,
but it was beautiful.
Yes, that's what you want it for.
And, well, like you said, it's not rooting in as it goes, so it's kind of creating like a living mulch situation.
Exactly.
Things can grow up through it.
You can plant through it, and it's not really going to bother.
It's not pushing out other things.
Yeah. So I'm glad that we're doing a good job of that, and it isn't. I mean, it's always a thing that we need ground covers and native ground covers.
Yes.
And so there we go. We got it. One other honorable mention with a silly name, just to go in with that, is Pickleball 9-Bark.
Love it.
And that is a Proven Winners introduction. And it is a green leafed, but maybe a brighter green instead of just kind of the normal green with white blooms. And they're saying it's the smallest on the market. It is 3x3. And so it could be that kind of front or that middle.
Yeah.
In between Chartreuse on the
We've got
Loose,
a landscape plan
Pickleball,
planned.
and Red Zeppelin. There we go. Just blow everybody's mind. Anyway, so those were some that I just thought would be fun to mention.
Yeah. Proven winners, they're like masters of the name.
Yeah.
The fun, silly,
There's some great
goofy
ones in there.
names.
But I mean, pickleball is still, as far as I know, it's still a thing. It's still cool.
I don't think everybody
so-
has blown out their knees, and that's what I keep hearing people say they had to quit because their knees or shoulders or
That's what we should
whatever.
do next. White River Nursery pickleball team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Got paddles.
I'll do it.
I barely know the rules.
I don't.
I've played around.
It's fun.
It is fun.
Oh, and I did want to mention our Easy Scapes, which again another that is Proven Winners introduction.
I can't
so
remember.
we're going to try out, and you guys can give us feedback on this year. We're going to try out a recipe program called Easy EZ, the letters Scapes, which is available for you to see online. They have recipes for landscapes, like bed size recipes. Their recipes include Proven Winner varieties. So some of their new introductions are in there. And we're going to trial a couple of those. One is Native Roots of Southeast plan, which has a selection of easily mixable plants, and they offer like patterns for planting. A few different sizes. So like if it's just the border bed in front of the house as you go up the stairs versus an island out in the yard. So that's pretty nice. And we're going to try that one out. And then we also have Spring Pollinator Combo, which we'll bring in a little bit later. Again, April is later. So you'll see those out around the tables, and could be an easy way to throw in color with kind of a how-to.
Well, just kind of taking the guesswork out of it for the average person who isn't a landscape designer.
Yeah.
So are these going to be in the smaller sizes, like the?
No, they will be big fluffy plants.
Okay.
So like the one recipe has lemon meringue baptisia, which is it's an herbaceous perennial, but sometimes can almost take the place of a shrub. So those are like a 2-gallon. The majority of the things will be in a 1-gallon, so they're going to come in nice and full, and you can instant flower bed.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
really fun.
That's kind of just getting started and figuring out what you're going to plant, what goes together, what takes the same like soil requirements and light
Yes.
requirements and
It's
everything.
intimidating.
It's intimidating, and so this is a great idea.
And-
I'm excited to have this.
And with both of these recipes, but this Easy Scapes program, they're trying to give you also not only the color combination and the cultural requirements of the plants and the heights, that
Yeah,
layer we were just talking
right,
about with our plan that we just made. They also try to do it through the season. So you're going to get like the pollinator one, even though it says spring pollinator, it's going to rebloom those plants in it. So it gives you extended color so that they work together through the seasons.
And and that's a super common problem people have. You know, you buy a bunch of stuff in spring that's blooming in the spring and then it's done in the summer, or vice versa. And so I love that kind of making it easy.
Yeah. So that'll be
It's
fun.
in the name.
To escape.
Well, that's exciting. I can't wait till, I think we should start getting some of our deliveries in February, and then it kind of just on through May, really.
It's like
I mean,
2
it's on.
weeks. I mean, or I guess a week from when this comes out, we're going to start unloading trucks.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be exciting.
It is exciting.
The Farmer's Almanac says that our frost date is going to be, like, our last frost date is going to be earlier, so we can plant 2 weeks earlier.
2 weeks?
Yes.
Oh, I have not seen this yet.
I mean,
Plant your tomatoes now.
d-
Kidding.
No.
Joking.
We'll start
joking.
getting those calls soon. Do you have tomatoes in yet?
Not
It's
yet.
always our joke. you
Yeah.
know, how early. But anyway, do you guys have anything else?
No.
All right. Well, that's exciting. Well, lots to see and lots to start planning your spots now.
yes,
So,
definitely.
I am already, I know.
Oh, and we'll put all this in the show notes.
yes, photos
For
and
the
all of
plant
that.
list and photos. Yeah. So.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you very
Thank y'all.
much.